The auditorium smelled faintly of polished floors and folded programs. All the parents filled the seats, shifting coats and exchanging proud smiles while students gathered near the stage. It should have been a simple evening, a happy one. Their son was receiving an academic award. The kind of moment parents imagine years before it arrives, yet as Michael settled into his seat, he felt a familiar distance sitting beside him. His wife wasn't angry. That would have been easier to understand. She wasn't cold either. Not exactly, the problem was subtler. Over the years, she had developed a way of looking through his contributions rather than at them, not maliciously, automatically, like someone who stops noticing a clock because it has hung on the same wall for too long. At first he hadn't minded. Marriage required generosity. People became busy. Recognition wasn't the point. But small omissions accumulate, and eventually they begin resembling something larger. The ceremony started. Students crossed the stage one by one. Tocrants applauded enthusiastically. Teachers smiled. Photographs flashed. Michael watched his son straighten his tie nervously before joining the other students. The sight filled him with pride, not because of the award, because he knew the effort behind it. Years of homework, conversations, disappointments, encouragement, the slow process of helping a child become himself. His wife leaned toward another parent sitting nearby. The conversation drifted naturally toward their son's success. Michael listened without meaning to. She praised teachers, tutors, programs, opportunities. Everything she said was true, yet something familiar happened. His name never appeared, not once. The omission itself wasn't important, the pattern was. As the evening continued, Michael noticed similar moments everywhere. Teachers greeted parents, families celebrated, contributions were shared naturally. Meanwhile, he occupied a strange role, present, necessary, invisible. The realization hurt more than he wanted to admit, not because he needed applause, because he wanted to feel seen. Those are different things. His mind wandered through years of ordinary sacrifices, early morning school drop-offs, dat fool changes, weekend commitments, late-night conversations when their son struggled, work opportunities declined because family needs came first. None of those choices felt extraordinary at the time. They simply felt like parenting, yet somewhere along the way, their consistency had made them disappear. The award ceremony ended. Families gathered throughout the auditorium. Photographs began. Congratulations circulated. Michael stood slightly apart while his wife spoke with other parents. Then the principal approached, a friendly man who had known their son for several years. The conversation started casually. Compliments, observations, future plans. Then the principal said something unexpected. He looked directly at Michael. "I've been meaning to thank you." Michael blinked. "For what?" The principal smiled. "For showing up." The answer seemed too simple. The principal continued. "I don't think most people realize how often you're here." The surrounding conversation slowed, not stopped, slowed. "My office overlooks the parking lot." He laughed softly. "I see parents dropping students off every day." Then he shrugged. "You're usually one of the first cars here." Michael felt strangely uncomfortable. Attention had never been his goal. The principal kept talking: parent meetings, volunteer events, academic support programs, athletic transportation. Moments accumulated one after another, specific, optional, difficult to dismiss. The principal wasn't offering a sentimental speech. He was describing things he had personally witnessed, years of them. Eventually, he turned toward their son. "You should know something." The teenager looked surprised. "The students who do best rarely get there alone." A brief pause followed, and consistency matters more than people think. The words settled heavily in the space between them. For the first time all evening, Michael noticed his wife become completely silent, not defensive, not embarrassed, reflective. The principal moved on to another family. A few minutes later, the conversation ended, yet its effects remained. Photographs resumed. Bacchants continued celebrating. Life moved forward, but something had shifted, not externally, internally. As families began leaving the auditorium, Michael and his wife walked through the parking lot together. Their son moved ahead with friends. The evening air felt cool. For a while, neither spoke. Then his wife finally broke the silence. "I didn't realize he noticed all of that." Michael looked toward the school building. "Neither did I," he thought, but he didn't say it. Instead, he shrugged. It wasn't really something to notice. She slowed her pace. Maybe that's part of the problem. The words lingered. There was no dramatic confrontation, no apology, no sudden repair. Long marriages rarely change that way. The silence between them felt different now, less certain, more honest. As they reached the car, his wife remained thoughtful, not because the principal had publicly praised him, because someone had described a reality she had gradually stopped seeing. The steady presence, the dependable support, the contributions hidden inside routine. Michael understood something too. His pain had never come from lacking recognition from strangers. The principal's words felt meaningful, but they weren't the real issue. The real issue was that invisibility had become normal inside his own marriage. And now, perhaps for the first time in years, that invisibility had been interrupted. The drive home was quiet. Their son sat in the back seat holding his award. Streetlights moved across the windshield. No resolutions arrived. No promises were made. Yet somewhere inside the silence existed a possibility that had not been there before: awareness. Sometimes relationships do not change because someone wins an argument. Sometimes they change because something that was always present finally becomes impossible to overlook.